Hi,
Hello,
I'm Julian.
and I am Tom.
We are Team Binge. We are back to talk about Rooster. This is episode 4 of maybe season 1. This one was called Angry Like an Angry Person. Tom, we will deep dive into this episode. I did notice this one was directed by Zach Braff, which I don't know that I've noticed on other episodes. Obviously, him and Bill Lawrence go way, way, way back. I only watched this one once, Tom. This was fun. Just not my favorite episode of the 4 that we've gone through at this point. And as we were prepping for this, I feel like I pinpointed why. And so I will dive into the why. But
Is it because of Zach Braff? You don't like his directing style?
no, I really like Zach Braff. I like a lot of what Zach Braff has done. It has nothing to do with Zach Braff. I just realized that the more centric a show is to young people, like college-age kids, I'm past that, Tom. I'm old. I'm grumpy. Life has passed me by. I don't like the whole college experience. I don't know. It's just not what I delight in, and I felt like some of the stuff in this episode was a little bit forced, and also, if this show was a show about college kids at a liberal arts college, I would bounce very quickly. I'm interested in kind of the dynamics of the adults. So with this one, with Greg getting his mojo back, I don't know. That's not where my heart lies, Tom. So
Yeah, and that's fair. My wife had a very similar sentiment. She's been struggling to really get into the show and buy into the characters, and I feel like I've been getting there. I've enjoyed the last handful of episodes more so than maybe the pilot. But I'm kind of with you. This certainly was not my favorite. I feel like we knew it was coming of him becoming the Rooster and his character from the books, but they just did it almost too quickly and made him too suave at the end. We were kind of joking around about Crystal and that dynamic, and I don't know. I just felt it all seemed kind of weird and icky at the end that I wasn't a huge fan of.
yeah, there were a couple of relationships that develop at the end of this episode that I really didn't care for, and I didn't really understand. We can dive into it more as we get into those. But the other thing is Greg is walking around with Tommy and his group, and at one point he's like, best night ever, and I'm like, how is this best night ever? All you've done is smoked a joint and drank some booze and played beer pong. I guess this is supposed to show that he was so uptight that this is the most he's let loose in a while. I don't know. This is every night for me. I don't this is nothing special. I'm playing
Tuesday.
I'm playing beer pong with my kids all the time, I don't need to go to college for that. They win a lot and they get hammered. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, there were definitely some funny moments. I'm still getting a huge kick out of John C. Reilly and Walt and that character. I really feel like they killed off Riggs or whatever his name was. He wasn't in this episode at all. Neither was Steve Carell's wife. So I'm interested to know if something happened there, whether or not that character's coming back, or whether or not that guy got paid for 3 episodes. And Alan Ruck was like, sure, I'll show up for 3. I don't know.
He's got to be back
happened
at
there.
some point. Yeah.
Does
I
he?
feel like they did it. Yeah,
don't know.
they did it for the dynamic to get Dylan in charge, because it's fun of her being in charge and not really knowing what to do. I enjoy that. But yeah, I feel like he's too big of a name. He's got to be back maybe at the very end of episode 10. He'll open his eyes Lost or something.
Sure. Yeah. Or they'll find him in a hatch that they'll try and open. Sure. Speaking of hatches and Alan Ruck, we start with Greg drinking a peppermint cocoa, which, Tom, have you ever had a peppermint cocoa before?
No, I haven't. And I feel like he keeps drinking it through a
Candy cane
straw.
Yeah.
But candy canes aren't hollow. So is this joint is hollowing out candy canes, or can you buy those separate? It's
I think
fascinating
it's
to me.
just a straw that's striped. You think it's actually candy? The straw itself?
I think it's a candy cane. I feel like it's thick enough to be a legitimate candy cane that you can enjoy while you are sipping this cocoa.
Is Ludlow College in California? Because California passed that law where you can't have a straw unless you can eat it because it's good for the environment. They just want everyone eating a ton of sugar straws and getting diabetes, but they don't want plastic in the ocean.
It's only candy canes and red vines.
We were so much happier when we could drink out of plastic straws. So much healthier, too. All that sugar now,
Agreed.
Speaking of people that are healthy, Walt barges in, and I love that Greg was like, I'm pretty sure I locked that door. And he's like, no, only locks from my side, which is just a great bit.
That was so good. I laughed out loud.
All of the agency that is taken from Greg by Walt, and Walt is of the personality where he is not at all. But I think Walt knows what he's doing, but he just doesn't care. But he doesn't care in a fun way, as opposed to. Although I guess in real life, if you had to deal with a Walt, you'd probably hate it. He'd probably be my least favorite person in the world if I had to deal with him. But it's funny in this show, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because, like, yeah, he is. It's because he's funny to us as an audience that you can deal with it.
Sure.
And, like, he does seem to be a good mentor-ish later on when he's kind of giving Sonny some advice. But, yeah, loves to get on Gerg's bad side, I guess.
His intentions are good. Sure, Gerg. Yeah. I love it. We have in this episode, I don't think they've done it in the show other than this, but we get the Rooster narration. So there's a couple of cuts in this episode where Greg and I guess Tommy later come in kind of narrating the show. I was interested to see if they were going to do kind of a Community-esque episode where it was all going to be like as if this was a Rooster book, but they only do it in small parts, which is Greg teaching, and he's got them turning in assignments, which makes him seem like the lamest teacher in the world, because teachers shouldn't make you turn in assignments. Everything should just be thought experiments, you know? And everyone should get an alligator in spelling. But he's like, I'm a hard copy guy, so he wants all of their, and I don't know what the
trees. Spooner's the best.
Spooner is incredible. That line tickled me endlessly because Greg immediately's got to be like, no, that's not what I'm trying to teach you. Like, all of his intentions are turned on their head during this. He's like, I'm the cool guy that likes paper. And yeah, Spooner shows him the wickedness of his ways. I bet Greg loves plastic straws too.
Yeah.
Hard cut to Sonny and Walt in the sauna. So John C. McGinley was like, listen, I'll do your show, but I'm going to do it while I'm in my sauna, like doing my normal routine and ice bath. And Bill Lawrence was like, sure, man, as long as we can get you 5 minutes a day. And he's like, that's how long I sauna for, so sure. So we have, I enjoy the Sonny and Walt dynamic. It's probably just Walt, but I enjoy the advice he gives him. And we find out that Walt's wife, who's been traveling abroad, is returning, and that I guess she kind of co-ops the cultures that she visits. That's her thing. Joni, I believe is her name, maybe?
Yeah. Not the little cultural appropriation that we get a little bit later. Yeah, and she apparently has a knack for doing this when she goes on these trips.
Sure, and this whole like scholarly community kind of accepts it and rolls their eyes. Or I don't want to discriminate against the one-eyed professors out there. But yes. Oh yeah, I did take a history of pirates class in college. Maybe that's why I don't care for college shows, Tom, because my college was such a joke. Of which you also attended, but
we gotta go to the disciplinary board for your talk of one-eyed people.
No. There was our school did not have a disciplinary board. They had a party school board, but anyways,
but this whole bit of like, so Sonny and Walt are having this conversation. I felt Walt eventually gives her some like nuggets of wisdom, saying this like authenticity is the only way to live your life, and I thought that was great. But like before we get to that, like the only mentorship that he's done thus far is just saying, hey, I got you 3 job interviews, and there's one that is like a favor of mine I really want you to get. It just seemed odd for them to jump immediately into, okay, you got a job interview, Sonny, now you're going to be off the map for an episode or 2.
I'm also a little bit confused, and once again, we've established I went to school but wasn't very good at it. She's a biotech, like chemistry, like brain, and this is a liberal arts college. Do we have a lot of the sciences happening here? Why does he know so many people in biotech? Is that just academia in a nutshell that he has these connections? This isn't MIT or ASU. It's not a place that's like fixing diseases, you know? So I'm a little bit confused as to why she's going to this college and why he has those connections. But yeah, the authenticity conversation comes from her being like, oh, what should I do about the pregnancy? And he's like, oh, just, be true to yourself. And we as an audience are like blown away because we've never heard that wisdom before. Certainly not from the good book, you know?
I thought it was be true to your school. That's what I always heard.
Yes, be true
Beach
to
Boys?
your school.
Is that what it is?
Tom, I'm gonna. Do you really expect me to know Beach Boys lyrics? Come on, are you serious? Oh man, Tom's got a history of Beatles and Beach Boys that he was born with. He came out of the womb with. It's from his long lineage of family members, and I never listened to a lick of either. And so, Tom's the type of person, for those of you that don't ride around in a car with him, as soon as the song comes on, he already knows the melody and lyrics, and he's probably never heard it before. Anyways, my friend
plus
Tom.
I have the voice of an angel.
Yes, yes, you do.
You'll get it occasionally on the pod, but it's got to be a specific.
Right. Think of my Kermit impression. That's Tom singing.
Call back.
All right, so we then cut back to Greg. Tommy's written a paper, and I guess all these papers, this is certainly not a plot device. They've all written them in some author's voice. And our boy Tommy's like, I chose you, Greg, the Rooster. And you're like, okay, this is going to go well.
And I love how Greg is like immediately tickled by it. Like he's like trying to play it cool, but just loves the heck out of this.
Right. And later when he's talking to like Dylan and Archie, he's like, this Tommy student, he's got it. He's got what it takes to be a writer and a student. And he's like not read anything. He's just so taken that Tommy, is in love with Greg and sees him as a, I don't know, hero. The hero worship of it all has really gotten Greg going.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I have to ask, you are a reader. What if you had to write a paper in an author's style, what author would you choose?
Oh, if I had to choose any, it'd be Cormac McCarthy, because Cormac McCarthy writes without using punctuation or anything like that. And he wrote, go read No Country for Old Men. If I could, it would just be the sparse, cynic voice of Cormac McCarthy, but I have no talent. So instead, mine reads like AI asked AI to write something, and then that's how it goes. But
love it.
What about you, Tom? Yours would be in the
Roald Dahl.
Roald Dahl. Oh no, that's problematic for a certain community. We found out from this show.
This episode is brought to you by Alexa Plus. Say hello to Alexa Plus and see how Alexa can do more for you. Need tickets to that last-minute show? Craving your favorite restaurant? Sit back, relax, and talk naturally. Alexa's on it. Alexa learns your preferences to create a personalized experience. And now, Alexa Plus is free with Prime on your Amazon devices, like Echo and Fire TV. Learn more at amazon.com/Alexa Plus.
Halliday presents, in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated Weed Whacker Guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength Halliday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner by knockout is Halliday. Halliday, bring it on.
All right, speaking of things that are problematic, there's like a running theme that Sonny and Archie are making. Once again, Tom, I don't have social media. Well, I did, and then you took it away.
Technically.
I had it, and then you took it away from me because...
you don't know what this thing was all about, right? So this is Instagram is what they do.
Okay,
and then you can heart a post to let people know that you love it.
Right.
And that's what everybody does to our social media feed at Team Binge or at Team Binge Podcast. So thank you for those who heart our stuff, aka our wives.
Yeah. Well, what's a little bit funny is I'm pretty sure my spouse does like an anniversary post every year, and I don't have social media, so I don't know who that's.
They're mostly of you
for.
Shirtless.
Oh no! Oh gosh! Anyways,
mostly,
right.
But they're tasteful.
Sure. Well, then I don't know which photos are being posted because the ones I know that have been taken are not tasteful. Anyways, so there's like a Mo, Sonny, and Archie are having a conversation, and Mo is making a big deal about how like you definitely have to like the pregnancy post, which just seems like a lot of pressure that you have to like things publicly. But Archie does the right thing, and he hearts it, I guess, which is liking it. Is that right?
That's it, buddy.
And this all leads to Kate or Katie seeing this, and this is what like spins her out, is that they are announcing the pregnancy. They seem to be, it's like anything. You, not that I would know, but you look on social media and you see someone's having a better time than you, and it drives you into, why do people like social media, Tom? I don't understand.
I don't know.
If it just drives you to like jealousy and hate, why is it something that we all do? I'm going to go on a tangent here. I love that like TikTok and these things are advertising for themselves, but they're advertising by being like, hey, we come with parental guidance, so it's okay if you use us. It's like, hey, we're tobacco. We'll give you cancer, but we give you filter. So, still try us out. I don't know. It's all silly.
We'll give you the drugs for the cancer that you get from our cigarettes.
Right.
Or whatever else.
Sorry. The old man, this is what happens when we pod late at night and I drink, Tom. By the way, alcohol's good for you. I just want to better than social media. Okay, so
Julian's magic elixir.
Yeah.
No, so this like we cut to Katie. Yeah, she's like clearly distraught here, and she's back teaching. Like, did we get a thing from somebody? I know Dylan was going to help and try to get her back teaching, but she's just back, right? Like,
yeah, we yada yada'd it. She went and asked Dylan. Dylan said I'd look into it, and now she's teaching. And I did appreciate. Not an art major, Tom, but this whole, like, she goes on several tirades about, hey, these paintings were made by these terrible human beings that were, like, terrible to the women in their lives, and men are terrible, and the student is like, let's take the fight to the male oppressor. I appreciated all of that. It was very funny. Once again, I don't know anything about art, but I'm assuming most of what she said was true. But yeah, I did feel a little bit bad for these students that I guess when your professor has a bad day, you've just got to sit there and listen in that lecture.
Well, all these students seem to have fantastic relationships with their professors. And like, I knew my professors and I would maybe say like hi to them in a hallway, but they're like hanging out. They're getting drinks. They're getting coffee afterwards. Students are giving her advice to essentially get some strange. It was a lot.
Yeah, no. I never made eye contact with any of mine. I just looked at the floor. We had a buddy one time was like, oh, I went to my like economics professor and suggested a book to him. And I was like, why? Why would you go talk to him? Now they know who you are. Now they can call on you. Like, that seems terrible. So, no, I'm with you. All of these, yeah, there's a lot of fraternization, and certainly in Archie's case, that I think Walt may want to come down on his professors and add a little bit of separation. I mean, he's in the sauna with a female student. I would argue that might not be the best optics for the school either. I know he's not Riggs or Alan Ruck's character, but that's how it starts, So, I don't know. It's a dangerous game being inside a wooden barrel that's way too hot that you have to wear a bathing suit in. All right. Speaking of which, this leads to the disciplinary board, which this really awkward moment where Greg trips and then he does the walk like an Egyptian and that leads to someone reporting him. It was very awkward. And you made a comment on the last episode where you're like, this seems to be a little bit forced. This one definitely felt forced.
It was wild. Yeah, like the bit of, I think, Crystal, like then having him sign the paperwork and saying, these are the other ways you can't walk. Like that was kind of funny.
Sure.
But like, I love this concept of this running joke of like going to the disciplinary board for kind of seemingly silly things. But yeah, this was like, who's complaining about this? Nobody knows what walk like an Egyptian is. Maybe that's the problem, is they don't. These other students didn't know what it was, so they are trying to take offense. But it was a lot.
Yeah, no, I enjoy the disciplinary board. I think they should always gather. I like Dylan; she's a great character, but just the Steve Carrell of it all in this moment where he had to trip and then do it. I guess it's supposed to be kind of a dad joke, which Katie is mortified by, but yeah, a little too much.
What do you do? Hold on. What do you do when you trip in a public area?
I drop down and do push-ups. I do 10 push-ups, and then I get up and I like flex a little bit, and then I make sure the shirtless picture of me makes it online. And then
I just
all the
start
comments
jogging.
below are like doughy, pale, doughy. That's what I hear.
Dad
a lot
dough.
of. Yeah.
Hashtag dad dough.
Terrible.
No, I just start jogging. I pretend that I've just started jogging when I trip, and then
Sure.
I'll go about 10 feet and then
Sure.
look around, see if the coast is clear.
I like to act like my lower back goes out, and then my lower back does go out.
I was gonna say, act like it.
Yeah. Exactly. This is then Dylan and Greg after the disciplinary hearing, and we've got Archie in the background. I think he's making coffee because there was the bit where Greg showed up with coffee for everyone but Archie, and he rubs it in his face, which was childish but wonderful. And we find out that Tommy used AI to write his story, and he is not ashamed.
Well, and again, the closeness of these students. He has Tommy's phone number and immediately texts him, and then Tommy responds almost immediately saying, "Yes, I did it," and admitting to it. It was funny, but it's just so weird that you would have your student's text message or your phone number to text message them.
I mean, it's wild, but my kids at their age, they don't have phones, but we'll ask them about a homework assignment, and they'll be like, "Oh, I don't know. Let me email my teacher." And it's that's dangerous. Why are you emailing your teacher? That's typically but they all have access now, so I guess teachers enjoy it. Who knows? We find out, and why does Archie dig in so much here? Is it just because Greg likes Tommy, and so Archie wants to, I guess, take revenge on Greg? Because he's if Tommy used AI, he doesn't know Tommy, I don't believe. I don't think Tommy's in his Russian literature class, so all of a sudden, Archie is hey, if he used AI, that's expellable, and I want him expelled. I'm assuming that is just Archie trying to poke Greg a little bit, right? This is a cold war between the two of them, and Tommy's Cuba.
I think it's a little bit of that, and I also think it's just Archie being on this pedestal and thinking that he's high and mighty and better than everybody else, and that people that use AI are dummies, kind of a thing.
I would argue he is better than everyone else. I love Archie. Archie's number one for me on this show at this point. But yeah, we really got a lot of Tommy in this episode. I wanted to like Tommy. I had a couple of times where I had difficulty reading Tommy, but yeah. So
Tommies are enigmas.
yes, they are. Good job. Actually, you know what? I didn't like Tommy. I don't like Tommy. I hated Tommy in this show.
Never met a Tommy I liked.
Can't stand him. Something about the name. It just grinds on me.
Ooh, thankfully, I'm Tom.
Yes, exactly. So I just wanted, and Greg's way of saving Tommy is hey, here's the deal. You guys can expel him unless he writes a new story by midnight. And it's
Cinderella story.
Okay, I guess. Both these real teachers should be Greg, calm down. We don't know what your deal is, but this leads to the library with Greg needing to write a new book himself. So he's going to work on it, and he's going to have Tommy work on his story. And I love that Tommy has never been in the library before, and he's like, "Oh,
this is so cool."
It looks like Hogwarts Castle a little bit, but this is wonderful. And we haven't mentioned it yet, but all of this is driven by Walt is having this party, and he wants to show his author in residence off, who is Greg, and Greg does not want to participate in the party, which I completely understand because it seems pretty fancy and pretty stuffy. But his excuse is that he has to work with Tommy, in which Walt closes down the library. And he's everyone sees the day, stands on the desk and falls off or something. I don't know. This was insane. This was insane.
The idea of just screaming in a library just because you're the dean, and it's it's Friday, go live your lives, make memories or whatever. Hilarious. I love the way he delivers it, and everybody listens.
Where do you stack? I mean, Tom, let's rank deans for a second. So we've got Dean from Community, one of my favorite deans.
He's a good dean.
We've got Walt from Rooster, and then we have Dumbledore from Hogwarts. If you were to pick your favorite dean out of those three, I'll give you Principal Beldong. What's his name from Saved by the Bell?
Beldong?
What's his name? Belding? What's his name?
Belding.
Okay, yeah. Does
Richard
he count as a
Belding.
dean? Oh, you know his
sure.
first name.
Of course I do.
Incredible.
The Big Bopper, bro. That was his DJ name, too.
Golly, I never watched that show. I hate how much you love it, but whatever. Those are your 4. Pick your 4, or pick your 1 out of those 4.
I'm going to pick my 4.
Out of those 4, pick the best 4.
I mean, we are actively reading the first Harry Potter book to our child, so I have to go with the Dumbledore of it all. That's great. I would also argue honorable mention, Dean Pritchard from Old School was pretty fantastic.
No, that's
was it Jeremy
fair.
Piven? Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah. Jeremy Piven. Man, that guy. That guy was a star for a while there. He had hair.
Entourage.
He had hair. Yeah, Ari. Real great. Mine would be Dean because, much like him, I love Dalmatians and people dressed as Dalmatians. I often think, I hope this doesn't awaken anything in me. So mine's Dean from Community.
Okay.
All right. So all of that to say the library is closed, which we then cut to Katie and Archie. They meet. Katie has gotten all dressed up for the party. She looks fantastic. Archie, of course, notices because he's visiting. He wants Roscoe. He grossly makes out with this dog. I did not need this. I did not appreciate this. You're a dog guy, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. You're a dog guy, Tom.
Incognito mode.
How do you feel about kissing your dog on the mouth? Please say
I don't
you
feel
don't
great
like
about
it. Okay, good.
I don't feel great about it.
I hope this doesn't awaken anything in me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, especially the end of this episode and how it tags, but like Archie kind of coming in here and then trying to play suave and tell her like, oh, I remember when you wore this dress at this specific time, and Katie's still not having it. Like, I just didn't like where they went.
I love her line. She's like, I'm not ready to stroll down memory lane, or like, I don't want to do memory lane time.
Yeah.
I loved how she just shut it down. But yeah, I mean, let's talk about it at the end. But where this relationship goes, I'm a little bit surprised by. I was taken aback. I gasped audibly, Tom. I thought it was going to be the handsome barkeep, but instead it was Archie.
We all hoped it was Hunter. Yeah.
Yes, we all hoped it was Hunter, surely. But he's...
Well, Hunter's got that new album coming out, too.
Oh, no, that's an Office reference. What?
Take you by the hand.
No singing.
Made me a man.
Oh, gosh.
That one night. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
one night. Yeah, no, I got you. All right, let's move on. I was going to make a joke that Hunter's currently in medical school because he's in the other season of Scrubs, but we can move on and not sing anymore. Her other line that's great during this is where she's like, it does my heart good to see you suffer. I just appreciated that a lot. We cut to the fancy party. I believe her name's Joni. Joni, Walt's wife, is in a kimono, which everyone seemed to be bothered by, but I remember when this was okay back in the day. It feels like in the 2000s, people were wearing kimonos.
Everybody was.
And we all accepted it. You had one, I had one, you know. It was all good. It's just we were more understanding. I don't know.
This pod has gone off the rails, and I love it. We got a pod at night when you drink more often.
Yeah, sure.
But like, yeah, the Walt of it all, or not Walt, sorry, but the Greg of it all of him saying to the bartender, whoever else, like, well, at least I'm not wearing a kimono. I was like, oh, that song ended abruptly. Like, that was great.
I think we've all had that moment in our lives where there's like ambient noise or something happening and we're talking too loud and that noise drops away and you're just like, did everyone hear me? And like people are giving you looks. I've done it. It happened in church once. It was terrible. I still think about it.
That's great.
Yeah. And I love that he goes to talk to her and then his line is, would you mind if I left? And then he leaves, which is just the best exit for a party. And this actress that plays Joni is someone, I believe, was she in Seinfeld?
She is someone. You're right.
Oh, who is... Thanks, Tom. You're not going to help me out.
Seinfeld does sound familiar, though. But she definitely had that face. I'm like, oh, I have seen her from something. I did not place it, nor did I look it up.
Yeah, I didn't either. It was maybe it was the kimono. Maybe I was like, I recognize that kimono. It was very similar to the one you used to own, Tom.
This episode is brought to you by Redfin. You're listening to a podcast, which means you're probably multitasking. Maybe even scrolling home listings on Redfin, saving homes without expecting to get them. But Redfin isn't just built for endless browsing. It's built to help you find and own a home. With agents who close twice as many deals, when you find the one, you've got a real shot at getting it. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
Zootopia 2 has come home to Disney+.
Let's go!
Get ready for a new case.
We're the greatest partners of all time!
New friends.
Gary the Snake.
And your last name?
The Snake.
Dream Team. New habitats.
Zootopia has a secret reptile population.
You can watch the record-breaking phenomenon at home. Zootopia 2, now available on Disney+, rated PG. And right now you can get Disney Plus and Hulu for just $4.99 a month for 3 months with a special limited time offer. Ends March 24th. After 3 months, plan auto renews at $12.99 a month. Terms apply.
This all cuts to him running across campus. He runs into Tommy rolling a keg. And I was like, listen, we've all seen Old School, bro. We know how this is going to go. And then the show's like, have you guys seen Old School? We're going to show you a slightly shorter version. And Tommy very much plays Greg. He's like, listen, I got no friends. I'm going over here. I need help with the keg. And Greg falls.
But it's
for
like,
it.
does he though? Because
No.
he does that thing later saying that
No.
he actually
This
was
is-
a little bit of one. Like,
No, this is all him just playing Greg. He's all these
Okay.
guys he drinks with normally. He's friends with them because that's pointed out while he's playing beer pong. They're like, "Oh, you always do this," and Greg's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I thought you guys just met." So I think the like towny conversation later is, I guess, a little bit true, but I don't think. Tommy doesn't seem to be struggling to find a friend group here in college, which,
Yeah.
that's how I was too. I just had tons of friends. I had,
So many.
I'll name them all. It was Paul and John and what was
You
the
got it.
drummer's name? Lennon the drummer, and then they were Probes and Project Hail Mary. Ringo
Yes.
was my best friend. And
There's still one more.
I'm pretty sure I named all four. There was Paul,
George. You
no,
forgot George.
Paul,
Poor
John,
George.
Lennon, and then Ringo. All four of them. The Beach Boys, as you like to call them. Anyways, we get a beer pong montage, and this, I guess, relates to him throwing pennies into the jar, which, fine, cool, got it. He's good at beer pong. I don't know. This was fine.
I feel like I had like a Michael Scott-esque moment where he like turned backwards and flipped it over his shoulder, then made it. Like
Yeah.
there was that shot where he's like leaving the office and then does that backward shot in the warehouse. I thought it was kind of reminiscent and it was great. But I didn't put together that he was like a beer pong champ because of this penny throwing addiction that he has. So that was kind of fun.
Yeah, he's good at throwing things and them landing into cylindrical objects.
I
great
would
at it.
argue a penny is very different than a ping pong ball, but what do I know?
Oh, I don't know. Who knows? They probably weigh the same. They're made of the same material these days. We're not making ping pong balls or pennies anymore because of the price of copper, from what I've been told. So, or zinc, whatever it's made of. Who knows? Money's not real. We have this funny scene, and I did appreciate this, of Katie. Someone flirting badly is always pretty funny. So her
Love it.
flirting with Hunter, and
That
like
took me back to college.
someone flirting badly, sure.
No, me flirting badly. Yeah.
Right. No, I understood. I knew what you meant, Tom. I wasn't going to give you more credit than what you were due. Anyways,
Wonderful.
so this is great. The barkeep just like letting it slide right by him of like, hey, my buddy Scott's going to take care of you. I've got a different gig, and him tapping his ring, which I don't remember what that other barkeep's name was, but Scott seems right. And this is all witnessed by Dylan. And her line where she says, I saw nothing, but that made me very sad, was just a great line.
Come sit down. Let's have a drink. Yeah. I like that them getting a little bit closer. Like we had, her begging for her job a little bit, and then Dylan saying she's helping out. And then I mean, we didn't really get much of this conversation. They both ultimately just make their way to the party, but I'd love to see more of them together.
Yeah, I love Dylan. I think she's a riot in the show. And, Katie's fun. Give me some more Walt. I just don't care about the students at all. I could, if this was set in a college where all the students were on a field trip for like the whole semester, I would enjoy it just as much. Although that wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. So don't write that idea down. All right, we've got the boys and Greg hanging out. It's 9:15, Tom. It feels much later than 9:15, but it's 9:15. One student who has had too much to drink and maybe too much to smoke decides to share some personal information about how many nipples he has, which he then is called, we'll just call pig nipples, I guess will be the best way.
You can say nips.
Sure.
A bad word.
Nips to me are like a candy that you used to buy. But yeah, they were caramel or coffee flavored. But anyways, when Greg goes, that's going to stick, when he's like, that nickname's going to stick, that was just a great line.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And they're going out. We're going streaking, essentially, at 9:15 is what's shouted during this. Which leads to, we don't get enough of him. The cop shows up for 30 seconds in this episode? A minute? Give me more of this guy. He's got his gun. He's found his gun,
Well, yeah, like Greg touches the paint and he's like, "Oh, this paint is definitely not dry." Then he touches "Oh, yeah, it's still very wet. Oh, now I got paint on my gun." It's always something with the gun with this cat.
Yeah. But sometimes you have to paint your gun, Tom. Sometimes it's the same thing with like a haircut. You're like sad. You're like, "Oh, I need to change something up." You get a haircut. You feel good. Same thing with a gun. You're like, "Oh, I feel sad. I've got this gun. I'm spinning around on my finger." And then you're like, "Oh, what if I spray paint this gun?" You spray paint it, you feel better. It's just one of those things. Haircut and spray painting guns. Julian's key to happiness.
Spray painting. Yeah,
what?
What? Let's talk about this here, because we see. Is it for Katie that is on this spray paint, and then you see it on the bench, and you see it on stuff later? Like, who do you think is doing this?
Yeah,
I felt
this is some sort of rallying cry for the students that are siding with the Professor Katie as opposed to Archie, I guess. I don't know. I'm assuming it's some of her students, some of the students that are siding with her. I guess, who else could it be? It's not Greg. I don't think it's Katie. I don't think it's Walt. I think it's just a group of students that collectively like writing for Katie.
Yeah.
You?
All right, that's
what do you think?
No, I don't know. Like, I guess I just thought it would be like a single person and they were like going to call it out. I didn't think it would be like everybody having her back, but I like that. I like that. It makes a little bit more sense, and I like people having her back.
Yeah,
but
maybe
I don't love the way they're going about it.
Oh, you don't like the vandalism?
Defacing public property.
Sure. That's where you draw the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Although the way they wipe this paint, it doesn't seem real permanent. It doesn't feel like this paint's going to stick around. Feels like a light drizzle is going to clean all this paint up real fast. And this seems to be a college that is in an environment where it rains, unlike where we live, where it never rains. Speaking of places that never rain, Katie and Dylan go to the party. And Archie shows up, or at least Archie's there, and he's like holding court. Everyone's laughing at his British jokes. Ha 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 ha. Katie's like, "I hate the fact that you're here. You knew I was coming. You weren't supposed to come. You're supposed to be at home making out with the dog, you dumb idiot." They get into a fight. Archie, not a big fan. I know earlier I said I was a big fan, Tom, but I'm going to tell you the truth. I lied. I don't like Archie. I think Archie's a fool. And I wish Katie would think Archie's a fool, unlike how this episode ends.
Yeah, I don't like any of this. He's just smarmy, and he's just trying to like wiggle his way in because he's jealous or whatever else. But yeah, he's a tool in this scene, and I don't like him here, and I don't like the little connection we get at the very end of the episode.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, how are we supposed to feel about any of these relationships moving forward? He apparently is kind of a serial cheater, both on Katie and Sunny. He has a child coming with Sunny. He's now cheated on Sunny with Katie, with whom he first cheated on. Now, we don't do a lot of moralizing. Well, you don't do a lot of moralizing on this podcast. I'm the one that comes down hard with the good book. I just don't, like, I don't want him to end up with Sonny. I don't want him to end up with Katie. He's been terrible to both. So what are we looking for here? I don't know. Are we hoping he takes a hockey puck to the dome while Greg's coaching? What are we looking for in this? What's going to make us feel good at the end of the season with this guy?
Yeah,
he's alone.
That's my problem too. It's like I get people are complicated and make bad decisions.
Yeah, some of the stuff's not that complicated, Tom. But go ahead. Yeah. I appreciate what you're trying to do. Sure, it's not hard to take vows and keep them. Not that hard. Go ahead.
I'm with you. Like they're just. They're going about a way where I don't feel for the character. I don't know how you can turn him to be any sort of redeemable character. I mean, but I don't know. Maybe we said that about Jamie Tart. That's different because I think it was just a silly football game. This is really messing with people's lives. But,
sure.
Don't like where they're taking it.
And a child that's on the way, which I worry for that child's well-being and the father that seems to be a big tool bag, but. It is what it is. Maybe he'll take a soccer ball to the face and die like that dog in Lasso. Who knows? Spoiler alert, Dog dies by soccer ball in Lasso. Have fun, kids. All right. Let's go from there to... Oh, and I think it's real dumb that what sparks Archie to, pursue Katie is she flirts with the barkeep again. And so it's this guy's only motivation is that. It's, as you pointed out, it's the jealousy of it all, which is just a terrible thing to be motivated by.
Yeah, because he doesn't seem to genuinely want to get back together with her, because he's still doing, he's hearting stuff on Instagram. I don't love it.
And hearting something on Instagram is legally binding, correct? Once again, I don't have social media, but I think if you heart something on Instagram, that's a deep legal contract.
You only have one heart to give on Instagram. Really? So once you give it, you can't get it back.
Incredible. That sounds like a Beach Boys song. One heart to give on parentheses on Instagram. Taylor's song. That's probably how it goes. Or Taylor's version. That's what it is. Thank you. I'm hip, Tom.
She owns it all now, baby.
All right, so let's go to the student party. My spouse was like, what's it called when you have the bottles duct taped to your hand? And I was like, I'm pretty sure it's Edward 40 hands.
Yes.
You can reach us at Team Binge Podcast if you know the answer to that, although I don't know if I truly
feel like
care.
I knew this. I never did this, but I feel like I've heard of this, and I knew it as 40-ounce curls. You get these dumbbell-sized things on your... taped to your hands.
Sure.
But Edward 40-ounce girls, I think both are apt and both seem absolutely miserable.
Warm malt liquor that's stuck in your hands just seems like the worst to me. I don't.
Yes.
I did not care for this. I also think that, and maybe it just depends on your college experience, but some of us just weren't cool enough to have malt liquor taped to our hands and forced to drink all day, I guess.
I taped them to your legs.
Yes, that's why I have a bad back to this day. I do.
That's why you have drinker's knees.
Drinker's knees. There it is. They're at this party, and what brings the party down? Nothing brings the party down quite like what, Tom?
Like Michael Stipe from REM.
Everybody hurts.
This is a loaded song here. So Michael Stipe does the intro song for the show.
And he
Rooster,
is the lead singer
I Played the Fool of REM. Yeah,
sure.
Yes. And there's apparently another Easter egg here that Bill Lawrence, who puts loads of Easter eggs and stuff. We just talked about it with the Penny thing and Cougar Town. But this is almost a call directly to Dwight in The Office. Because he gets in his car when Michael starts taking a liking to Ryan more so than him.
Yeah.
And he's got this playing in his car, this exact same song, and the same sad face. And apparently Bill Lawrence did not put the two and two together, and people on the internet just kind of found the Easter egg. So that was kind of funny.
I don't know that's... I mean, Everybody Hurts is kind of on the nose when someone feels sad. So I'll forgive him of that, but... I do appreciate that I did recognize the voice of the theme song of the show, as well as the lead singer of REM singing Everybody Hurts, which is murdering the vibe. And this leads to Tommy having a conversation with Greg, and he's like, listen, you're in college now. You can be whoever you want to be. And I would just like to go back to the conversation he had with Dylan, where it's like, actually, he's 57. He's not in college. He's teaching at college. So he has a little bit more responsibility. And Greg's like, listen, I'm not Rooster. I don't do all of those things. And this, like, Tommy being like, listen, I'm a fish out of water too. I'm a townie. I only got into the school because of a relative, which immediately sparked like, oh, we're going to find out who this relative is, right?
Mm-hmm. I was thinking, like, is it Crystal? Like, I feel like it's got to be
interesting.
somebody that has a relationship with, like, the greater show thus far and not just some random person.
Oh, I like that, because the added complication of now that Greg has developed well, maybe not developed, but they've had a quick relationship at the end of this episode that might complicate things for Tommy, telling him to go be the Rooster. So I guess, I guess I can understand that. I like that. I didn't think of that. I was thinking like maybe Walt or Alan Ruck's character Riggs. Tell me his name's Riggs, Tom, because I've called him Riggs like 4 times.
Something like that. That's close enough if it's not.
Sure. Wriggles, I think his name is. This leads to Greg being like, all right, I'm going to be the man, because Tommy puts aviators on him at night, which is just a dangerous game, but it is what it is. And he's like, good night, Rooster. And I think,
and him
go ahead.
walking through the school grounds or whatever, and then smashing these 40s to be able to get them off his hands. Like, while an interesting visual, I thought they were gonna like cut to him like with bleeding hands and going to the hospital, because this is ill-advised.
Oh, we just watched The Nice Guys, and there's that scene where Ryan Gosling punches through a glass door like to break into a house, and he immediately slits his hand open. There's like so much blood, and then the next cut is him in the hospital. I would like to make 2 recommendations to people. Go watch The Nice Guys with Ryan Gosling, and then go to the theater and watch Project Runway. That movie rips. It is
Project Runway.
yeah, maybe not Project Runway.
Try again.
Project.
Take
I'm
2.
gonna get there. Let me. No. Everyone, go to the theater and watch Project Hail Mary. That movie
There it
rips. And also the TV show Project Runway is pretty good as well.
You really got to see Project Runway in 4K with IMAX. It's really immersive.
I think Project Hail Mary only makes sense if you've watched every season of Project Runway. So before you run to the theaters to see Project Hail Mary, go run to your house and watch Project Runway. Now I'm super confused as to what's what, Tom. Thanks. No, smashing glass bottles in your hand together seems like a real dangerous game. So I vote no on that. But he shows up at the faculty party, and I couldn't tell, was this him in like a drunk high stupor, or did he really say these things to people, where he's like walking around and he like tells Dylan, hey, I regret not taking you up on, I guess, the hookup that first night, and she's like, hey, I'm here with someone. This was all real, right? We're not going to cut to this being something he imagined in the next episode.
No, I mean, my assumption is it's real. I'm like, watching enough trailers for this show, I believe the whole idea is like him
becoming
kind of
the
turning
Rooster.
Yeah, so like if they just kind of say like this was all in his dream or imagination or something like that, and he's just passed out on a bench in the next episode, I feel like that'd be a little bit cheap.
Well, based on how much he's had to drink and smoke, is this what's fueling the Rooster once he like wakes up the next day? Is he still going to be the Rooster?
Yeah. But that's a fair point. I don't know if he's going to continue to be. Maybe he's going to like try to be Rooster around the edges, but this is him going full tilt.
Sure. And speaking of full tilt, Tom, thank you for the segue. Crystal and Greg go into Walt's office, and they do the old full tilt, as the kids like to say. And Crystal definitely...
I love when they try to like swipe everything off the office, and like there's like a really heavy like paperweight or something that he can't do, so they just gently take one thing at a time and put it on chairs. That was really funny.
Yes, the moment of passion slows down so that no one pulls a muscle moving the large trophies on Walt's desk, which is great. And we end with Greg walking across the campus. He's doing a little walk of shame, and then Katie's walking, and we find out that Katie has Archie back at the house, which
Boo.
Yeah, did not care for this turn of events. Don't know where this is all going to end up, but I don't know. I enjoyed the episode. I only watched it once. I just, this one, a lot happened, and a lot happened that I didn't want to happen for certain characters, so maybe that's what's coloring my opinion of this one. And I don't know. A lot happened so quickly with, like, Tommy and the frat guys and, like, Greg becoming, once again, old school Vince Vaughn that it felt a little bit forced, is what I would say. Because he's...
Yeah, and I was for that, too. I just think they could have slow burned it a little bit. Like, to have it be like, yeah, he's got this beer pong montage, and then now he's immediately going out with him again, and now, boom, he's immediately this Rooster. It just all happened a little bit too fast and seemed a little bit out of character. I mean, they laid some groundwork for it, but I don't think enough. But, again, I'm still having a fun time with it. Hasn't been my favorite thus far in terms of where these characters are going, but it's still, I think, worth the ride.
Sure. And I'm going to be honest, if the next episode he gets Tommy's story, which Tommy is, like, writing in a frat house at 10:30 at night, if it's, like, supposed to be some great piece of literature, Tom, I'm going to be angry like an angry person. I'm going to be furious like a furious person.
Like Vin Diesel.
Yes, exactly. I'm going to be so fast, and I'm going to be thinking about my family while I drink a Corona, La Familia. Anyways, for those of you that have joined us for this episode, we've missed things. Maybe there was like a deep, like emotional core to this episode, and we just like skated right over it like Vin Diesel in those cars. Please write us at teambingepodcast@gmail.com. Give us your opinions. Let us know how you're enjoying the show. The other thing we would appreciate is if you use Spotify or Apple, whatever, if you would like, subscribe, and then rate. That would be lovely. I think I've established during this episode that I don't do the social media. So, Tom, I'll turn it to you.
Yeah, follow us at Team Binge or at Team Binge Podcast at the social of your choice on Blue Sky, on Insta. Give us all those hearts on Insta. We'd appreciate you. And yeah, let us know what you think about the show, because I do feel like it's still been generally well received, but I have certainly seen some things on the internet of people maybe not souring on it. I think that's the wrong word, but certainly not loving this episode as much. So if you're in that camp, let us know what you think, and we'll figure out where we go next week.
Yeah, and to clarify, Tom reads one blog, it's my blog, and so those are the people that are souring. But anyways, for Team Binge, I have been Julian.
And I have been Tom. Cock-a-doodle-doo! Till next week. Bye-bye!
How many discounts does USAA Auto Insurance offer? Too many to say here. Multi-vehicle discount, safe driver discount, new vehicle discount, storage discount, legacy.
How many discounts will you stack up? Tap the banner or visit USAA.com/auto discounts. Restrictions apply.
LifeLock, how can I help?
The IRS said I filed my return,
but I haven't.
1 in 4 tax-paying Americans has paid the price of identity fraud.
What do I do?
My refund, though.
I'm freaking out.
Don't worry, I can fix this.
LifeLock fixes identity theft guaranteed and gets your money back with up to $3 million in coverage.
I'm so relieved.
No problem. I'll be with you every step of the way.
1 in 4 was a fraud-paying American. Not anymore. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.